Yoga Swings. So this is, thank you guys for coming, by the way, and trusting me with your Saturday and hanging out together, your willingness to play. So these swings are really special. I make them in San Francisco, and there's a lot of different swings or hammocks or fabrics and stuff out there. And this one is made with like a super stretchy sweatshirt material to be really comfortable. So the first thing you want to get used to is the stretch, which kind of surprises people sometimes. So some people will kind of like just fall into it and be like, whoa. So it's good to just know that the swing will continue to stretch as we hang out together as well. So if you want the swing to come up or down while we're working, that's totally okay. So we're going to get in and put the swing behind our back. Now, I just said that really quick, but I'm going to give you lots of instruction to go over this too. And I just want you to drop down so I can see if your swing's close to being the right height. So my feet are at the front of the mat, so everybody wiggle your toes forward. Perfect. Yeah, so I love using the circular mats. You've probably noticed that these are a little different as well. We're different around here. I like using the circular mats. Not only is it a good visual, but it gets us out of the linear movements. And we're really going to work so a little bit more so the toes touch. So you use the, Milton, walk your feet forward so the toes touch. So yeah, all the way to the front. Yeah, so we're going to use the edge of the mat to create the space. And then when you drop straight down, your hips are underneath your plumb line. Okay, does that make sense? So we're going to go over that again, but I just want you to get comfortable in the swing. Everyone's looking good. Your swing can be a little bit higher, okay? But if you're comfortable, that's fine. The way that you tell is that the knees are level with the hips, but not lower. But if you're like this because your shoulders are up to your ears, that's also kind of like an uncomfortable position, so we have to change that, right? So let's all come out one more time. Let's try it again. So I'm going to turn around so you can see me. So when I put the swing behind my back, it's not here. See how that's really tight under my underarms? It's all the way down, like below the bra strap. Even if you don't wear a bra, you know where it is. So I put it there. And then when you sit down, you kind of use your arms to press. Can you see how I'm creating like a leverage with the swing pressing forward? And then the swing will stay because my shoulders are engaged. Okay, so try that, but drop the hips. See how everyone's hips are pushing forward? Push your pubic bone down towards the ground. Yeah, really drop. Yeah, go ahead and help some. So we have Lori here to help. She's amazing. She's already a certified teacher and teaches classes, and she is nice enough to show up and hang out with us. This is a nice group of people, so I'm really happy to share this practice with you. So if you like lots of attention, we'll give you lots of attention. If you're all like, no, I'm good, I'm just going to do my own thing, we totally welcome that too. So notice most people are like this, and I want you to totally drop your weight. Now the reason why this is so important, we're going to focus on therapeutics for today. This is a nice way to take pressure off the underarms if you want to use the forearm press. And keep dropping your hips. If you're not sure if you're cheating, try and kick your feet up. There you go. And then put your feet back down. I know that's hard. We're not going to do too much crazy hard stuff today. A little bit of strengthening and dynamic movements, but mainly it's going to be nice and easy. I just call it easy breezy. Okay, just start to shift a little from side to side. Feet are pointed out 45 degrees. Just slightly so the hips have some room to move. And so when we shift from side to side, see if you can get into more of a semicircular movement than the back and forth. And then you can start to change our brain and the way we're used to moving in the body by doing a little bit of a half circle. Now, it's okay if we play bumper cars a little, but it's really nice when we synchronize swim. So let's all come over to the left, and I'll try and say things backwards as much as possible. And then we're going to press back, press all the way back, and then shift over to the right. Nice, there you go. And then press back, shift over. Is that okay? So just do little tiny micro movements. So some people might have an injury, or some people might have discomfort in the body, and you can tell me, and I can help you. And we welcome that. I actually like working with people who have illnesses, injuries, any sort of limitation helps to challenge me to grow in the practice. So it's okay. I have a little knee injury, so I'll be really gentle with my knees today. And the swing actually is more supportive and easier on the body than regular yoga on the ground. It supports your body to go deeper without straining. the joints, okay? So let's go ahead and start. Everybody push into the bent right knee. Let's start on the right side. And we're going to just pulse here. So I'm going to make sure my feet are nice and wide. Yeah, use the edges of the mat. So the arch of the foot can be right on the edge. Good. Take a nice deep breath. Start to marry and merge the breath. Remember to drop the hips so it's really deep in the hip flexor. Nice. And then go ahead, we're going to come back and pulse to the other side. Nice and slow and gentle. Now you'll find your underarms get tired of this after a little while, right? Because the body's not used to hanging by the armpits. It's a very sensitive area. There's lymphatics there. There's heart energy meridian lines and all kinds of stuff that makes it very sensitive. So what we're going to do when we need a break is we're going to push back. Go ahead and lift the arms up and overhead. Now the swing is going to support behind the heart, and it can slide down slightly if it kind of like wiggled its way up underneath into the subscapular area. And then the full pose is coming into chillaxin arms. So chillaxin arms is where you clasp your hands behind your head and let the elbows flare out wide. And it might also feel good to just do a little shimmy from side to side. So I'm pushing strongly into my legs, and then I'm bending at the waist in order to bring the elbow towards the side of the knee. But I'm not even going to come close to touching. It's more of a directional. Okay, yeah, nice. Good side body stretch. Now if you push back so far that you're opening up the rib cage instead of the heart, we're like missing out on that big upper thoracic arching. So make sure you don't go so far that you actually just push the ribs up instead of getting the actual heart open. Really good, guys. Okay, so from here, we're going to keep leaning back, and we're going to shift from side to side and start to marry work those two movements that we just learned. Let's all try to sync up. Let's bend the right knee and bring the elbow towards that bent knee. Beautiful, that's it. And then push straight back like you're on a diagonal, and then bend the left knee and bring left elbow towards the knee. Just hold and pulse there. Go ahead and exhale back. Inhale, bend the right knee.
Do you need to ask some questions?
Please, yeah.
So I'm unclear, like, as we go over, like, I'm just noticing that your feet and your toes stay on the floor.
Yeah.
For me to be able to do that, like, I have this really internal rotation. And it doesn't look like you do. Maybe you do.
I'm not a really good model for it because I'm like hyper flexible everywhere. So people are like, how are you doing that? So the idea is we're pressing the opposite hip up towards the sky to get a diagonal and to bend.
Right.
So actually,
so like my quad and my knee, like, is it like pointing up to the sky? Or kind of turn in.
Gotcha. Yeah, let's all push back and play with this together. So we call it aerial yoga play because we're here to explore and experience the body in a new way. And if it's ever too much, just come down to a sumo squat and just kind of watch for a second. If you're not like into one of the poses, I welcome you to do what you want as long as you're happy. So this is what we're going to do. We're all going to bend the right knee. First thing that needs to happen is if the feet are not pointed out 45 degrees, the knee is not going to track. Right, so we need the knee to track. Your feet could be a little bit wider. Bring your feet back. So slide them back. Yeah, like that. Okay, and then go ahead and straighten the left leg. Good. And then lean back into it. When you lean back, that allows your hip to come up. We're just gonna like take little tiny nibbles on this pose for a second. And if you don't mind me just sharing with the group, Linda has some hip stuff. So we're going to focus on hips today. We just all got lucky, right? So we're going to have hips. And so Alexis, you could even press your hips up towards the sky a little bit. Yeah, like that. But so don't open up the rib cage. Stay on the diagonal so you're pressing straight back. Do you feel the line of energy then? So you want to get that line of energy. So if I can adjust you for a second. And I'm not going to do too much because I know that there's pain there, but you just let this hip come up so that there's a line of energy that comes through the side of the body. And the idea is, I studied 5 different kinds of yoga, and I'm like all kinds of like to chew on things and get into the nitty gritty. And I find that creates a contraction in the body as well as a contraction in the mind. And we really just want to experience and explore the body in a way that allows us to go deeper and make sure that we're playing safe, but that we're having fun. So sometimes when we chew on it too much, it can actually be a limitation in the body. Does that make sense? Right? So let's just have some fun today and try to get a relationship with the swing. And I'm happy to answer any questions. But if we just focus on it feeling good, then we'll build on it from there and it'll make more sense. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So go ahead, just let's balance it out and shift back. So we're going to bend into the left knee. And I want you to just start to feel that line of energy. It also has to do with how flexible your feet are if you can keep your toes down. So that was the second part of the answer. And so it is more of an internal rotation and then a pressing straight up and out. And then I'm pulling through both elbows so I'm not collapsing anywhere in the body. And then go ahead and exhale and come back. So one more supported back bend. And Alexis, I want you to focus on just getting that diagonal so the heart opens. And then support your head into your hands instead of the big arch, which then goes into the rib cage. Beautiful, guys. Awesome. And bend both knees. Go ahead and use the forearm press and come down. So I usually wait to the end in order to show you guys how to come into the relaxation poses, but I just want to let you know that everything spreads out and it's super sweet. So let's go ahead and just do that first. So if you want to just walk back, so push back to come out. Yeah. So we always stay like with the pendulum swing. And just make sure that this is actually on.